Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive into Objections Overruled. This time, we're going to be jumping into Chapter 9, and in this chapter, we're tackling a pretty big question. Is religion just something that humans invented, kind of like an opiate for the masses? I know that's a view that's still pretty common today. I mean, think about it. When you look at all the different religions and beliefs out there, it's easy to think, well, maybe we just made all this stuff up, just to make ourselves feel better. But honestly, I think it's way more complicated than that. One of the things we have to consider is that long before organized religion existed, there's evidence that people were already thinking about the afterlife. I mean, way back, they were burying their dead with rituals and objects that suggest a belief in something beyond this life. So, does that mean the religion as invention idea doesn't really hold up? Well, let's dive in to see what we can find out. The evidence suggests that a belief in an afterlife predates written history. That's right. Even before humans had written language, they were already expressing this belief in something beyond this life. We can see this in what archaeologists have found. For example, they've uncovered burial sites that are tens of thousands of years old, and these sites contain sacred objects and religious drawings. What that tells us is that even in the earliest human societies, the afterlife was a big deal. And as we move forward in time, we see this belief becoming even more elaborate and well nuanced. Ancient civilizations like the Mesopotamians, Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans all developed complex beliefs about the afterlife, and these beliefs had huge impact on their lives. Let's start with ancient Mesopotamia. This was the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. It's where civilizations like the Samrians, Assyrians, and Babylonians thrived. These cultures had some really intricate beliefs about the afterlife, which really affected their daily lives and how they interacted with each other. They believed that the afterlife was this shadowy place ruled by powerful deities or gods. And to make sure they got into this realm safely, they would perform these elaborate rituals and make offerings to these deities. Basically, their whole society was built around keeping these gods happy and getting ready for the afterlife. Then we have ancient Egypt with its incredibly detailed beliefs about what happens after you die. The Egyptians believed in mummification and preserving the body for the afterlife, and they developed these very specific ideas about how the soul traveled through the underworld. They filled tombs with provisions and guides to help the deceased navigate the challenges of the afterlife. Like, imagine that, packing for eternity. It shows just how seriously they took this whole afterlife thing. Yeah, but it wasn't just about, stuffing the tomb with stuff, it was also about how you lived your life. The Egyptians believed that being a good person was super important for getting a good judgment in the afterlife. So, their beliefs about the afterlife directly shaped their morals and how they interacted with each other. It's interesting, right? The Egyptians were all about preserving the physical body for the soul's journey. But the Greeks had this whole other idea. They believed in a judgment based on your actions in life. It just goes to show how even when different cultures share a belief in the afterlife, their values can really shape the specifics. So the Greeks, they believed in this realm called Hades. It was ruled by the god Hades, of course. And in Hades, souls would be judged and sent to different places based on what they did while they were alive. Those who had lived good lives would be rewarded with a spot in Elysium. It was like paradise, peaceful and happy. But those who done bad things would be punished in Tartarus. It was this dark and fiery abyss, not a place you'd want to end up. And get this, they even had three judges of the underworld: Minos, Radamanthus, and Acchus. They also believed in judgment where good people were rewarded and bad people were punished. So as you can see, this belief in an afterlife, this idea that there's something beyond this earthly life, it was everywhere in ancient cultures. It wasn't just one specific region or time period. It's this recurring theme that pops up again and again throughout human history. And that's what I find so fascinating about this whole idea that religion is just an invention. Because if it was just something we made up to feel better about things, wouldn't you expect to see way more variety in these beliefs? Wouldn't you think there would be a wider range of ideas about what happens after we die? But what we actually see is this incredible similarity across different cultures, different continents, different thousands of years. There's this constant fascination with the afterlife, this belief that what we do in this life affects what happens in the next. And I think that points to something much deeper, something really fundamental about being human. It suggests that this desire for something more, this need to connect, was something beyond the physical world. It's not just our imaginations running wild. It's like it's built into us. It's a clue that maybe, just maybe, there's more to this whole story than we can see right now. And that's what I love about exploring these ideas. It's a journey of discovery, a chance to dig into the depths of human history and thought. And who knows, maybe we'll catch a glimpse of something truly amazing. So, as we keep looking at this idea that religion is made up, let's keep our minds open, okay? Let's not just brush off these ancient beliefs as silly superstitions or wishful thinking. Let's at least consider the possibility that they might be pointing us towards a reality that's way bigger and more mysterious than we can understand right now. This whole idea that people have always believed in an afterlife, it really throws a wrench in the secular worldview. If we're just products of, matter and chance, like secularism says, then why are we so obsessed with what happens after we die? It's almost like we're hardwired for something more, something that goes beyond the physical stuff. And think about the impact this belief in an afterlife has shaped how people have lived for thousands of years. It's influenced our morals, our societies, our art, our literature, everything. It's a driving force behind our search for meaning and purpose. So to just say, oh, it's just something we invented, an opiate of the masses, feels way too simplistic. It's like saying, well, we made up love because we needed a reason to have babies. If religion is just something we made up, why does this idea of an afterlife show up in so many different cultures all over the world? Yeah, I'm not saying that all religions are the same or that every belief about the afterlife is true, but I do think that the fact that humans are so fascinated by the afterlife says something really profound about who we are. It's a reminder that we're more than just physical beings. We have this spiritual side that longs for connection, purpose, and something bigger than ourselves. And that's why I think this conversation is so important. Whether we believe in a literal heaven and hell or not, the questions that religion tries to answer are questions we all face. Why are we here? What happens after we die?